What's going on, people? Welcome back to another John Sinclair TV back again. And I've got Steve from Charlotte, North Carolina. Is that correct, Steve?
That's right. Yep, I'm based in Charlotte, North Carolina, from Gateshead, and I've been over here since 2016.
Fantastic. And whereabouts in Gateshead, Steve?
From Wardley, which is right next to Pilo Meti.
I know it well. I mean, we partners from Lufel, and
Oh, sure. All right, aye.
so yeah, she's loved absolutely amazing. That's for another time of the day. So guys, you like the video, like you watch, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave your comments in the section down below, and do follow Steve on his socials. Steve, what is your socials, mate?
My Twitter is at Stephen J Heads, and my Instagram is Headsy Steve.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you very much indeed for that. Make sure you do follow Steve and he will follow you back. And the channel is going to be going global in America. I've interviewed quite a few people, Geordies in America, which is fantastic. Right, Steve, I want to talk to you about the summer series. And Newcastle had 3 pre-season friendlies against Villa, Chelsea and Brighton. And out of these 3 games, were you impressed by what you've seen in the pre-season?
I was. I think the first game against Villa was a little bit sloppy from the get-go, but it looked like, as the series progressed in that game in particular, the defense tightened up, and it was a good rotation session, I think, as well. The last 2 games was 2 totally different 11s, and everybody looks up to speed and comfortable, which is going to help for the season for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, when Eddie Howe played 3 at the back, I was really worried against Aston Villa played for a back 3 when he played Paul Dummett there. I mean, people say, what's Eddie doing? Blah, blah, blah. But I'm not going to criticise Eddie because Eddie has done a fantastic job in Newcastle United. But he must know now that Dummett is just not good enough for Newcastle United. I could be wrong, but at the end of the day, right, we definitely need a centre back, which I'm going to comment to later on. But he quickly changed it back to his normal system 4-3-3 in the second half, and we were a lot better.
Yeah, no, for sure, we were a lot better once we had our normal lads out there. Dummett's what? He's in his early 30s, getting old now. He
32.
He does look off the pace. But he's a squad player at the end of the day. I think he'll do a job when needed, which honestly is probably not that much. Maybe he's in the League Cup, or if we're 4 or 5 up, he might come on for the last 10-5. Lascelles as well. I love Lascelles. Actually met him in person down in Atlanta. But in the open training session, he looked off the pace a bit. And, in the games as well, I think he's lost the sharpness that he had, when we first signed him. So I don't feel comfortable as him as a backup. So I definitely think we need at least 1 to sit behind Shaw, if not 2.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of agree there because you definitely need a left back as well. Because I like Dan Burn. I think he's been fantastic since he's been there last season. But for me, we need a specialised left back that can actually play left back. But Dan Burn, I think he'd be perfect as a reserve centre back for me. But if he plays left back and Fabian Schär gets injured, I'll move Dan Burn there. And we have to bite the bullet for Matt Target. I know a lot of people are split with Matt Target, in my opinion. But having seen that, right, he can do a job, right? But it depends which Matt Target turns up.
That's true. Honestly, I like Matt Target. I don't really think he did anything wrong. It just so he got an injury last season, and Dan Burn was unreal the whole season. But we signed him as kind of when we're mid-table. Not to kind of sound better than we are, but we're in the Champions League now. We're looking to be in and around top 4, top 6 on a consistent basis. And Target's a good squad player, but he's not a starting Champions League left back. And I think that's something that we need to address.
Absolutely. That's what we need to do very quickly because you can't go in a new season with Target, in my opinion, as left back. We just can't because Moussa Diaby will absolutely skin him, rip him apart if he faces him. I guarantee you.
Yeah, it'll be all right when we're playing, the likes of like Luton, Bournemouth, all the lower table teams. But once we come up against quality opposition, he's going to get rinsed. I mean, that's just the unfortunate of it. And Dan Burn is good to step in, but he's 6'8". He's not the fastest. If he's coming up with a pacey winger, it's game over.
Yeah. You talked about pacey. We haven't got a pacey back four. We need a defender, a centre back with speed, with pace, and that's what we need. I mean, Kip Trippier, he's got pace, goes forward, but we need someone at the centre of defence with pace, and that's what we badly need, though, Steve.
We do, yeah. I mean, I was kind of surprised at Botman, honestly, like as mint as he is, against Chelsea on Wednesday. He got done for pace, which is kind of shocking. And we don't have anybody faster than him. Trippier, yes, but Trippier's getting old. He's maybe got 2, maybe 3 seasons at the most with us. So the lack of depth behind the starting back four is pretty concerning, and hopefully we can get at least 1 or 2, by the end of this window.
Yeah, Livramento's one of them. I mean, that deal ain't dead yet. That deal could go ahead, and that's Livramento for Southampton. So he's not worth 40, 50 million quid, 30 million tops, and that is it for me. If there's anything over that, nah, forget it.
No, he's not, man. I mean, like when he plays, he's good, but I mean, he was out like the whole of last season. They've just been relegated.
Agree.
I don't think he's worth 40, 50 million. Like, I just don't. If we get him, great, but I'm very happy and confident with how our hierarchy is with dealing with transfers. I don't think we'll get pushed about, which is good. So if we can get him for 30, maybe 35, I think it's good to go.
Yeah, good to go. Exactly. We could talk about the games, right? I mean, we played the 3 teams there, and I thought in past we did really well. I look at some impressive players as well, like Elliot Anderson. Steve has been absolutely outstanding in this tournament. I mean, what I've noticed from him, he's fitter, he's quicker, and you know what? It's got to be a place for him against Villa a week Saturday. Got to be.
You would think so. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate on the likes of, Joe Willock and Sean Longstaff, but, they're injured and he's came in, he stepped up and, he's ready to go. I think it's going to be between him and Gordon fighting it out for a, starting position on the left wing. Ideally, I'd like to see them both play, to be honest, but, Eddie loves Miggy. He splits. I mean, he kind of splits the fan base. I mean, he's good when he shows up, but he's consistently mediocre. I would say that.
Yeah, fair enough. I like the Gambino as well. I mean, look, on his day, he's great, and on the off days, he does work hard. But for me, I don't want to slate the guy. I really don't. But we see if Eddie picks him, I gotta believe in him as well. But Anthony Gordon, I mean, he's got to be a place for him as well. I mean, this guy, I love Anthony Gordon. I think this guy's going to work so hard for the team. He's going to be our secret weapon, and he's going to make a difference this season, I hope.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming off the back of a very successful under-21s championship. And, he was unreal against Rangers. He did really well here. And even at the open training session that they had in Atlanta, he was absolutely unreal. Rinsed everyone. He was great. So you'd have to think big season for him and a big season for Anderson. I think they're probably the 2 who are going to surprise people the most this season.
100%. I mean, we got the midfield, we got the attack, and it's just the defense. If we get the defense right, that would be brilliant. Do you know what I mean? And keep it tight at the back, pacey at the back would be fine. And if you look at the young guns as well, we touched on Elliot. We've got to talk about Lewis Miley as well, Steve, because this competition, he has been awesome, brilliant. 17 years old, right? Did look out of place. The guy's brilliant.
He is. He looked very comfortable on the ball. He's a lot bigger than I thought, to be honest. Seeing him up close in real life, he's a big lad for 17, which is good. That's what we need. If he can keep his confidence up and keep playing like he has been doing, he'll definitely be a good squad player for us, which, means that we're not in a hurry to go out and buy another centre mid if we have people like him coming through the academy.
Exactly. And you know what it is, like you can save us millions and millions of pounds in the future. Do you know what I mean? And believe you and me, it's just that role in the midfield could be his for life. Really. He could be our club captain.
Well, it could. You know, Bruno's young, Tonali's young. You know, if we're being honest, Longstaff's probably not here long term. So yeah, I mean, he could battle it out with Longstaff. He could eventually push out Joe Linton in the next couple of years. So if he keeps going the way he's going, he's got an exciting career ahead of us.
100%, 100%. And I can't wait to see what he could bring in the next few years as well. On to Eddie Howe. I mean, 18 months to be at a job, right? First full season gets us Champions League, got us fourth, which is absolutely fantastic. Too many draws could have cost us second, but at the end of the day, we got fourth. And what a fantastic job he has done. I mean, people say he wasn't a big enough name, and he comes in and he has done absolutely fantastic. And long live Eddie. Fantastic.
Absolutely. Great bloke, great manager. His tactics are unreal. You know, even before the takeover, you know, we were kind of wanting him to take over from Steve Bruce, you know, and giving him the resources that we have now, you know, he's done an unbelievable job. He really has.
He has. I mean, we would look at it like, you know, I mean, 15 years of Ashley, 18 months of Eddie, Champions League. It just goes to show our club's been held back for years and years and years under their ownership. And then all of a sudden, here we are. It just goes to show you get the right players coming to Newcastle United, and then the rest will follow.
It is. It's exciting. You know, we've had dealing with years and years of a bunch of either random players showing up or people using us as a stepping stone to go on the bigger things. But it's at the point now, like the players that we're going after and recruiting, like they want to be here, they're hungry and they want to succeed with us, which is great and something that, you know, most of us probably aren't used to being a Newcastle fan.
I know. Exactly. You touched on that as well about players coming in. Do you think our owners are doing their business quietly, or do you think they should come and tell us and say, look, we're not after this player, talk absolutely rubbish, or do you think they should be doing their thing, just keeping it quietly until we get a signing in?
I think what they're doing now is they are keeping it very quiet. I remember that first transfer window we had when it was very disorganized. It felt like everybody that we're going after was leaked immediately, whether that was intentional or not. But, you know, that didn't do us any favors. Everybody knew who we were after, so they boosted the prices up. Everybody's wanting high wages. So I like the strategy better now, where we're kind of dealing in the shadows a bit. Nobody knows what's going on until it's done, pretty much. You know, Tonali, you know, he came out the blue. That was pretty much done in a couple of days. Same with Barnes. Lamento, you know, that's been going on for a while. I think the next signing that we'll get will be somebody totally out the blue. Nobody's got a clue, and that'll come straight in.
Absolutely. And we see what happens. I'm just waiting to see who they're going to bring in. Other podcasters, did you meet any podcasters when you went to the game, Steve? Like Adam Pearson?
I did. I met Adam Pearson. He was in Atlanta. We had on the Tuesday they had an open training session, and there was 200 of us, which was unreal. And then that night we had a fan meet up at a bar. Adam was there. There was a guy that you actually interviewed, also John. He was there. I met him. I met a guy called Shade who goes by Soul Cal Jody. He was great. I was surprised at how big the community is over here. Like, it's surprisingly big. There's only 5 of us in Charlotte, but, you know, going to the bars, there's hundreds of people. And yeah, there's a lot of fellow podcasters there doing their thing, which was cool. Yeah, it was fun to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, we get some more podcasters like me going to America next year. If they invite us in again, I'll be there as well for sure. And you know what it is, right? I mean, the podcasters, right? We work so hard, do you know what I mean, where we're going to go. And it's a lot of graft. It's a lot of grafting, Steve, to do it. Do you know what I mean? You got to put the hours in. and I'm prepared to do that as well. And I've been quite busy as well, but you've got to get the right people on, though.
Yeah, you do. I mean, it's all about, engaging with the right people who've got some input, something to say, and you're doing a good job in that. So hopefully connecting with people over here is probably a great move. The community over here is a lot bigger than I thought it was, and meeting them all in person, was probably the first time that that's happened, honestly, in Philly and Atlanta and up in New Jersey. And it feels like the fan base is kind of back. It was very aggressive during the Ashley days. It was either people couldn't be bothered or people were hateful. But now, everybody's back. We're all on the same page. We all want to talk to each other. And it's nice and it's a good place to be.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, you touched a little bit on Newcastle and the fan base as well. Can our football club be massive in America? Because I believe you can,
I think so as well. Again, I was amazed with how many Newcastle fans I saw. I was like, why is Newcastle fans? And everybody had a different story about why they supported Newcastle. I think we'll have a big fan base over here. It's just all spread out. Whereas your likes of City, Chelsea, Man United, they're all in the bigger cities and convert more people. But the better that we're doing, the more that we're succeeding, we can get bigger and better over here. Absolutely. Because I think a lot of Americans, they're kind of sick of, supporting who everyone else is supporting, and they're looking for kind of an outlier, somebody different. And, we can be in that space. We can be the difference. We can be the team people want to support, kind of like we were in the 90s when everybody hopped on the bandwagon.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, something different, something fresh. We're fresh. We're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. The more we play in America, the better it's going to be for us, if you see what I mean. And I, for one, just cannot wait to go there next year. If not, it'll be elsewhere. So, yeah, I mean, if you look at the Seller Cup, which is going to be on Saturday, before we talk about that, I want to talk about the memberships as well. I don't know if you've seen social media today kicked off today. It's £44 to 74 quid. I watched Anna Pearson's podcast today. It was quite emotional today. It was very, very adamant that £74 for a ticket was absolutely disgraceful. And I love the owner, Steve. I love what they're doing. They've done a fantastic job. But me personally, I can't let this one go personally. I think they need to look at that ticket in again. £44, £74 is a lot of money for members. And the worst thing is, you do not know which seat you're going to be.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird one. Like, I think they should be honest about, where you're going to be. And if you're going to go into the ballot, like, pick, like, hey, I only want to buy a ticket if I'm at this price or I'm in this seat. Like, if you're paying 74 quid for a match, like, it better be like a mint seat or you get something with it, like it's pricing out fans a little bit, which is sad. But on the flip side, I kind of get why they're doing it. I mean, we're in like the financial fair play where we're trying to bring in as much money as possible, and unfortunately, hopefully this is just a one-off. It might be just this season that they're doing this, that just get the money in. And then next season, if we're making a lot more money, then it can go back down to what it was.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But at the end of the day, I mean, I've seen some tweets as well. And I tell you what, I'm not happy at all whatsoever. You know what I mean? I've seen one tweet today saying that shut the F up sort of thing, get on with it. You know what I mean? Maybe he must be on 100 grand a year sort of thing in his workplace. Who knows? You know what I mean? That's why you say if that is the case, then you shouldn't go out and say things like that at all whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, I mean, for me, I don't think they thought this out. I think it's excessive, and it's very, very poorly thought out as well. And that's just my opinion. And I know I spoke to someone today that it was 70 quid last season, and what you get for that sort of money, you get yourself a match program, you get your food, little buffet, you meet the legends as well. And I wanted to get a few drinks in that price as well. If that is the case, then fair enough, I get it. But to pay £74 for a ticket on its own, and that's it, and you don't know where you got to sit, you could be up in level 7, and then it's not good, man. It's not good.
No, it's not, and I think the reason people are raging is there's just like a lack of clarity about what it is. It's just like,
It's
all right, you
true.
enter a ballot, and you have this price and this price, and I mean that's it. Like that's only information that's out there. If they came out and said, for 74 quid, you get like your dinner, a couple of pints, a program, like this and that. Like it, if it's worth 74 quid, then fair enough. But they should say that, like where you're going to be sitting, what you're doing, and let the fans pick where they want to be and what you get for. Like if you want to sit in level 7, fair enough, say that and get the cheapest ticket possible. And if you want to pay a bit more and be somewhere good, then that each to their own. It's a bit expensive, but just let everybody know. Like it, I don't think they know what's going on. Hopefully, it's just kind of like a test, seeing what the crack is. There's a lot of backlash. Obviously, everybody's raging. But with the club, the way the club's run at the minute, I'm hopeful and confident that they'll see what's going on.
Yeah.
They'll take a look at it and they'll change. One of the things they're seeing over here is their focus this season is to increase fan engagement. Like they want to be a lot more transparent. They want to get everyone involved. That's why they had open training sessions. They had the question and answer things over here, and they were all free. They didn't make any money off that. And if they can do that back home, even better. But they have to have a lot more clarification in the tickets. Otherwise, it's a weird one because everybody's raging. But at the end of the day, people are going to pay it. That's just how it is at the minute.
Yeah, I was looking at tweets now, right? Got one from Susan_NUFC saying that away tickets should be ballot too. Nobody has the chance of ever going away. And CJ's comment and said, scrap loyalty points. And I don't know what you say about that, but you can't tell people to scrap loyalty points. You got people who's got 100 plus points, for goodness sake, yeah? Are you gonna make them go to ballot as well? It's unfair.
It is unfair. I think if you have a certain amount of loyalty points, maybe like 50 and up, like if you want a ticket, you should get one. That's fair enough. You've done your dues. You've been following the club a long time. You've obviously gone to a lot of games. Fair enough. But for the remainder, something has to be done. We're that big and that followed at the minute. Like they're just selling out like straight away. It's not getting down to the 0 loyalty points. Like for me, like I had a season ticket, I had a lot of loyalty points, but I've moved. I'm over here now. Like if I come over, I want to go. Like getting a home ticket is gonna be hard enough. You know what I mean? Like,
It
but
will be now.
but going away, it's next to impossible. If I did want to go away, luckily enough, I've got mates who are season ticket holders with loyalty points. I could lean on them, but they've also introduced this thing I saw on Twitter that they're going to do random ID checks for fans. Which, what's all that about? That doesn't make any sense to me.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's just getting worse and worse and worse. They got about 50 rules, yeah, and you try to keep it up. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. You got your ticket, you got the ID. That should be good enough. Not bloody treated like a criminal. Do you know what I mean? But again, that's another way. It's no way. Let's go on to the Cellar Cup. We got Fiorentina on Saturday, Villarreal on Sunday, and I think Eddie Howe's going to play 2 teams. It's not a sellout yet, from what I can see, but I'm looking forward to this, Steve, because you know what it is, right? I think it's going to be a good test for Newcastle United.
I think it'll be a great test. 2 good teams, good quality opposition at home, almost a sellout, which is good. I think he'll do similar to what he did over here. On Wednesday, he had like pretty much a full strength side out, and then on the Friday game, it was pretty much all the subs and the bench players. I think he'll mix it up a little bit. I think he'll have close to a full strength side on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday, he'll probably mix it up and have like 3 or 4 first teamers in there, and then give the lads on the bench a chance to show up and take the opportunity, like what Anderson's done so far this season. It's going to be hard not to start him, and if there's those fringe players who want to step up and kind of make a name for themselves this weekend, then they've got a good chance of starting against Villa.
Yeah, Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I think Eddie Howe's got a decision. He's going to be his first 11 is. I think he's made his mind up. He ain't going to tell us right now. But, you know, I think the battle is going to be the same. I think Eddie Anson's going to come in as well. You know what? I think it's going to be an exciting game as well. And I think it's a good test as well. And I think going to the Champions League, then when you play these two games, this will tell us where we're going to be going into the Champions League. And depends on the draw too.
Yeah, it's a good benchmark. It'll be a good test. You know, at the end of the day, it's a friendly, so the results aren't mega important, but it's more so on, you know, how we face up in the one-on-ones, how we face up against the team as a whole. Like if we can hold our own and go a little bit and try to beat them, then it'll have us, you know, lined up well for the Champions League and where we're going to be at there.
100%, 100%. I had to ask this question as well. Where do you think Newcastle is going to finish at the end of the season?
It's a tough question, honestly. Like based on how we were last season, you should be thinking top 4, but the big question marks is going to be if Liverpool and Chelsea show up, then you know that'll be a problem. I think the lowest will finish as 6th, and a goal for us should be anywhere between 3rd and 5th. 5th next season qualifies for the Champions League, so there's not that mega pressure to finish 4th again. I'm hoping that playing in the Champions League isn't going to kind of mess us up 2 games a week. You know, I know that's had an effect on Chelsea and Liverpool in the past. If we can rotate well and keep up the intensity, then, you know, I think 3rd or 5th should be pretty easy.
I'd take it all day. I'd take 5th even as well. Do you know what I mean? Because I mean, Steve, because you know what it is, right? I think it's going to be an exciting season. And I tell you what, I think the one player go watch out for this season for me in the Premier is Nicholas Jackson. I mean, look, that guy, he is absolutely brilliant. I think there's a trick on this guy. If he's going to get a striker in for the future, this is the guy we should have got because he's got everything. He's got pace, he's got skill. The way he bought Gordon, and I think it might have been Barry and Share as well. He took them those 2 apart, and it hadn't been for Maddie, it would have been a goal. I'm telling you, that guy's brilliant.
He is. He's brilliant. He's good. No, might have missed the trick there. Yeah, he's going to do well. Hopefully not too well, but yeah, he'll be a decent player.
Exactly. Less about Leaky G, less about him, by the way. He's not a Newcastle player. And anyhow, I mean, for me, he's done brilliant. And one final question I've got to ask you as well. Does Bruno Guimaraes deserve a new contract?
I think he does. You know, it's kind of a situation where, you know, we've got him for a good few years left, so there's not really a rush to get one done. It's concerning that, you know, he brought it up. You know, I'm guessing he wants more money. His agents might be talking in his ears. But, you know, he's been brilliant for us. He's unreal. You know, he's easily worth double, maybe triple than what we paid for him. So if we can get him tied down long term, you know, maybe stick a massive release clause in there. You know, if somebody like Real Madrid wants to pay 150, 200 million, then fair enough. But in order to do that, you know, we've got to tie him down for a long time, 5-6 year deal.
100%. And on that note, we're going to wrap up the show. And you know what it is, Steve? You have been absolutely fantastic. I had Julie Nixon on earlier on. She was amazing. And you know what? You've been brilliant. And first of all, did you enjoy coming on the show tonight?
I did, John. Yeah, no, this was good. You've got a good thing going, a lot of good questions, good engagement. You know, you're putting the graft in and it's paying off. And, you know, hopefully it's going to pay off even bigger for you.
Thank you very much indeed. Now I've got a major announcement coming up soon as well. I'm going to post it on, I don't know if I can do it on Twitter first and then on here, or I'm going to do it on here where I do Steve Riff on Thursday and Jade on Thursday, 2 live shows as well. So I'll put in a graft in as well. And where do you find you on your socials, Steve? Again, just for people that just missed out.
Yep, no bother. My Twitter is Stephen J Heads with PH, and my Instagram is Headsy Steve.
Fantastic. Make sure you show Steve some love. Make sure you follow him on his Twitter account as well. And like I said before, if you like the video, like you watch, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment section down below. I will do backstage, Steve. And